What you didn't see on the outside of Jacobs Field yesterday was this protest organized by Native American Indian activists, very unhappy with the use of the name Indians for the Cleveland Indians team and the mascot, Chief Wahoo. We are joined by two of the people who were there for the Committee of 500 Years of Dignity and Resistance, Juanita Helfrey, she's an activist, and Russell Means, an actor and producer who also appeared in the movie The Last of the Mohicans. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. What annoyed you most about yesterday?
The crowd annoyed me the most. I just don't get along with the herd mentality, and that, you know, for the government to rob the people is one thing, and then for them to just massively then go to a brand new stadium, and then they're not going to go to the games for the rest of the year, is unconscionable to me. You know, in an alleged civilization where you're on the brink of the 21st century, to have a team called the Cleveland Indians and a mascot like Chief Wahoo is unconscionable.
Juanita, a lot of people watched this game yesterday. It was a big moment for fans who have stuck by this team throughout the years, through what's been termed a 30-year slump. Do you see the point at all that this team is revered, that the name the Indians is something that they are proud of?
I do see the point, and I think they'd still love their team even if the name were changed, because this is not the first, or this is about the third or fourth name that team has had. I also, I think, feel it's important upon people like myself to try to educate the public that the underlying fact of negative stereotypes and images is racism. How we suffer from the effects of seeing images like Chief Wahoo, or seeing the fans in action when they try to be an Indian in the stadium by wearing the regalia that we revere, that are traditional to our people. So our hope is that even though the fans are disgusted with us, that down the road, the continual education process will reveal the true aspects.
You bring up Chief Wahoo. Russell, talk about the symbol of Chief Wahoo and what you don't like most about it. Do you feel still, because it has been altered throughout the years?
What I don't like about it is it represents the Bureau of Indian Affairs of the United States government, all right? Racism establishes racist stereotypes, which go then into policy. We're suffering. We are at the bottom rung of all the measurements of poverty in this country. We're the poorest of the poor. Our life expectancy is lower than any other countries in this hemisphere. Lower than Guatemala, lower than Chile, lower than Rio de Janeiro, shantytown. It's abominable. And I'm telling you, Chief Wahoo has to go.
Why would the changing of a name of a team and the changing of a logo change the social problems that you are talking about? How would that have any correlation whatsoever?
It'll begin the changing of policy because it'll make us look like human beings. I'm a human being. I'm not anyone's mascot. And I am America's conscience. And that's what they don't want to look at. They would rather look at a cartoon character than at the deceit of this country and this government.
What do you say about the fact that the team itself was named after Louis Alexis, who was the first Native American Indian? Okay, you're raising your eyes. Why? That's not a good argument?
It isn't. I would say, number one, when the new Gateway Stadium was built, the person they honored was Bob Feller, and yet the argument they used on us in this community is that we should be proud because the team was named in honor of Louis Alexis. In my history, I reviewed the history through the library, and yes, he was a fantastic player. The treatment he received by fans wasn't fantastic because the country was at war with the Indians at the time in the late 1800s, early 1900s. So that is not a good enough reason for me to believe. I think it's just something they took up from the history.
Tell us what kind of response you've gotten from the Indians organization, from the team itself. Did they listen at all? Because there was some point last year where they at least considered it.
Ignorant people have a very difficult time in opening their ears. And ignorance is racism. And Peters and others of his ilk are what this country, it's what the world views this country as. You know, it's the citadel of racism.
We, the community has negotiated, and the United Church of Christ officials have negotiated with the team. I know I was involved with both community and church, and we met several times. And they never said no, they never said yes. And we felt like the door was open. However, Mr. Jacobs made his decision July 1st because the uniforms, etc., had to be changed or not changed. And we weren't aware to that point that they were not going to consider change because they always allowed us to work with them.
Okay, we've got the Braves, the Redskins, other teams, the Blackhawks, the Chiefs. You oppose all of these?
Exactly.
We've gone to every community, and we have activist groups in every community.
Any breakdown, is any team going to change their name?
Well, if they are, and they're not going to change the Blackhawks or the Indians or the Braves, then let's see the Washington Niggers and the New York Hymies, and let's get real here. Let's get equitable.
Are you saying the word Indian is a slur?
Redskins.
Redskins. It's the same thing as nigger.
Mm-hmm. Say the Cleveland Indians got rid of the Chief Wahoo but kept the name. Not good enough?
No, because the fans still use what they vision from the John Wayne movies and so on. They still use the imagery that produces the image that we are still in feathers and war paint and savages and so on. And the tomahawk chop and all of those paraphernalia they bring to the games. So no, it's the fans that take the name and make it what it is. You know?
I suppose it's most important to point out that as great as the victory was for some fans, it is important to see that it deeply hurts a group such as yourself.
There's the key.
It hurts.
It hurts.
It hurts.
Our children. We had our children there yesterday, and some of these young white males, and there was a young white woman too that was along with them, but they vented their hatred on these little children that were carrying signs. Why? You know, I was standing right next to the children, but they ignored me. They went right by me.
Russell Means and Juanita Helfrey, we do appreciate you being here, and you're always welcome to come and speak about this because it's obviously a continuing dialogue.
It is, and I really welcome the fact that I could be here because we have had a breakdown in communication, and we do need this kind of effort by everyone to get it publicly known.
Thank you very much.